CBS.
This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting tonight from Dallas. Good evening. Wipeout on Wall Street. The whole stock market rally of early '88 was wiped out today by the third biggest one-day point dive in Wall Street history. The market was down 140 points. This market fall followed official word that President Reagan's Commission on Wall Street is recommending more regulation of chaotic financial markets. Mr. Reagan himself today backed off giving any immediate endorsement to the recommendations of his own task force, the one he appointed to investigate the Black Monday market plunge of October. Also being blamed for this latest market downer today, new predictions from private economists that next year's federal budget deficit will soar billions of dollars beyond the legal limit. Bill Plant begins our coverage of the money and market mess of '88.
President Reagan headed for Camp David before the worst of today's market drop. But he was asked his reaction to a report he received today on last October's Wall Street crash.
Haven't read it yet.
Wall Street executive Nicholas Brady, chairman of the study, says the fact that all the world's markets are now linked electronically makes them extremely sensitive. He concluded that lack of coordination contributed to the October crash and makes clear the need for new rules.
I think in terms of regulation, you're talking about relatively minor changes, but you're talking about the agreement on one principle that we have one market, that television screens, telephones around the world, 300,000 screens all hooked up, talking to each other.
As a result, says the Commission's report, there should be a single federal agency to oversee all U.S. financial markets. It also recommends standardizing so-called circuit breaker mechanisms, including price limits and trading halts, and requiring larger down payments when buying stock on margin or credit. The president, in a written statement, pledged to review this and other forthcoming studies of the crash before deciding whether to endorse such changes. But one frequent administration critic says the report may be the basis for new legislation.
I think that the Brady Commission has made findings and recommendations that can greatly improve our securities transactions in this country.
White House officials aren't anxious for any new legislation. They don't want to upset the markets. But that doesn't mean that they don't like the Brady report. The truth is, said one staff member, we love it politically. That's because it suggests, as the president said in October, that the cause of the crash was more in the markets themselves than in the economy. Bill Plant, CBS News, the White House.
The Brady report was one of the chill winds that blew through Wall Street today, and some argue part of the reason for the market's plunge of more than 140 points. In financial centers around the country, the reaction to the report was angry.
It looks like the Brady report threatens the free flow of capital in and out of the markets.
These are recommendations that I think they would like to see happen, but I don't think they will happen.
The report aims to prevent sell-offs like today's, and especially like that of Black Monday, a time, it's been revealed, when banks refused to put up money to keep stock trading going, and the New York Stock Exchange almost ceased to function. So the report suggests that a study be made on limiting price fluctuations on stocks. The report also seeks to end wild gyrations in stock prices between the New York and Chicago markets by requiring Chicago buyers to put up more money.
There's no way you can have 50% margin on futures. It's impossible. It would just absolutely kill the business.
The idea the futures market had anything to do with the crash is just silly.
I don't think it's a case where we need more regulation. We need proper enforcement of the laws that already exist.
As one indication of how difficult it may be to change Wall Street, critics of the report say that if you regulate stocks here, investors will simply pick up the telephone and take their business to exchanges in London, Tokyo, and elsewhere where the rules aren't as tough. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
The nation's lowest unemployment rate of the Reagan administration. That word today from the Labor Department, which said the civilian jobless rate in December dipped 0.1% down to 5.8%. The unemployment rate for the year stood at 6.2%, lowest since 1979. But here in Dallas, where we've been working on the new CBS News broadcast 48 hours, it's apparent that much of the Southwest is struggling.
The coldest, most miserable week of winter has been especially bitter in northern Oklahoma, where the optimism of a new year was quickly dampened by economic reality. Phillips Petroleum announced more layoff notices were in the mail, up to 10% of the Phillips workforce, 2,000 jobs.
With revenues not increasing, the way you improve your profitability is cutting costs, and one of the larger costs that we have is the payroll.
Last year's oil collapse is already tarnishing 1988. And even though the price of crude is up some, evidence of a boom gone bad is everywhere. Oil money helped build the gleaming skylines of Dallas and Houston, but what once stood for prosperity is now only a facade. More than 20% of the office space in downtown Dallas and Houston is vacant. Already the number of foreclosed homes here in Dallas for the month of January is double last year.
People just leaving town, just coming into the mortgage company and saying, I'm leaving, I'm going to a new city, and here are the keys to my house.
No one is immune. Former millionaire Texas governor and now bankrupt rancher John Connolly this week watched as movers emptied his house of a lifetime of possessions. Their destination, an auction, where the proceeds will be used to pay part of the estimated $90 million Connolly owes creditors.
We incurred the debts. We made some mistakes. The collapse of the Texas economy inevitably caused us to go under. But I don't think we have any choice but to do what we've done.
And you can add famous Houston heart surgeon Denton Cooley to the list of big-name Texans in financial trouble. The pioneer of heart transplants this week filed Chapter 11. Texas mystique took another hit when Billy Bob's went belly up last night. The owners of the world's largest honky-tonk in Fort Worth announced they were closing its doors, unable to pay what they owe.
This goes, these three things go, this goes.
As Nellie Connolly helped movers pack up things she no longer owns, she summed up the feelings of a lot of Texans.
When people say, well, it makes you stronger, it makes you a better person, and I said, well, I'm strong enough and as good as I want to be. I don't want any more of this.
Texans realize they can no longer tie their fortunes so much to oil, cattle, and real estate, and just this week they got some good news. A high-tech research group picked Texas over 33 other states for a $1.5 billion headquarters effort to give the United States a competitive edge in the computer chip industry. Today, the high-tech consumer electronics industry trumpeted record sales in the U.S. last year and predicted another 5% jump this year. Jerry Bowen reports on today's high-tech show from the high-glitz showtown, Las Vegas.
Thousands of people are here in Las Vegas trying to catch a glimpse of the future. Retailers wondering if the home 3D camera or something else will be the hit of the summer season. There are phones at this trade show that bark instead of ring.
It's a telephone, you understand?
And video phones coming soon to a store near you.
The market is enormous.
And the electric bread maker. It lets you loaf.
And 4 hours later, you will get 1 pound loaf of bread.
There are newer, tinier TVs, bigger, big screen sets, and television audio systems that can knock your socks off. The kinds of things that have always sold, even when the rest of the economy was not doing well, even in the stock crash year of 1987.
The months of October, November, I'd like to throw back because they were too small. The other 10 months were delicious.
Even if it's not growing at the same percentages as it was in the past, $40 billion is still a fairly large industry.
Growth this year is forecast at single rather than double-digit rates, but everyone expects the business to do well, even in the face of price increases announced by foreign manufacturers who want to make up profits lost to a weak dollar.
The customers are still going to buy the product because there are no alternate sources.
Many of the products have become necessities. It's hard to imagine the American home today without at least one color television.
What consumers are not likely to get this year, say analysts, are revolutionary items. Digital audio tape recorders and high-definition television sets have been delayed here for technical and legal reasons. Americans will have to be content with such things as video still cameras using floppy disks instead of film, remote controls to locate or even start your car in the middle of winter. And who can resist the audio jacket?
It's 2 speakers on your shoulders, plus amplifiers around your chest.
Some people say it's part of the future.
It provides an environmental acoustic impact that you wouldn't normally get.
Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Las Vegas.
At least 60 deaths over the past week are linked to the snow and cold that swept through the Midwest, the plains, and on down into the deep South. Today, the snow blew into the Northeast by way of Washington. Deborah Potter explains what that meant.
The storm moved north in the night, plowing through the capital before dawn.
It was hardly a monumental snowfall, but the city that's been paralyzed by less took it seriously.
The forecast of a foot of snow was enough to shut down the federal government, leaving most of official Washington deserted.
Everybody's off, the government's off, the city closes down.
I hate snow. It just spoils everything, causes me a lot of extra work. I'm cold, very uncomfortable. I'm not having a good time.
Neither were most people along Interstate 85 in South Carolina, which was closed by the storm.
Anybody know what time they're going to clear things up in front of break big one now?
In the wake of the storm, in the heart of Texas, highways were still a mess. And across the Northeast today, driving was pretty dangerous. In Washington, with the government closed, it was a day to play. The powder was perfect for kids with no school and grown-ups with no work, and local ski shops did a booming business.
There were some people already pounding on the glass when we got here, but that's typical. Anytime it snows, that's going to happen.
At the video stores, they were stripping the shelves.
They're basically renting anything. You know, when it snows, they'll take anything out of the store. All the old standbys, all the classics, and they're taking all the new releases.
Almost no one drove, but one federal worker wasn't about to get stuck at the office. The White House helipad was cleared so President Reagan could go to Camp David for the weekend. Deborah Potter, CBS News, Washington.
And still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, David Martin on the Reagan administration's strong move against Panama's strongman, and morning man Harry Smith on the high of Cab Calloway at age 80.
Upper Fifth Avenue and to Harlem we could stop.
Which new car offers more features for less money than the leading Japanese imports? Features like air conditioning, power mirrors, a cassette tape player, and a 660 powertrain warranty. After a little investigating, more and more people come to this conclusion. Ford Escort, the world's best-selling car, 5 years running.
During Ford's leadership celebration, get a $400 cash bonus on Escort.
If an MCI customer has a problem, we'll work on it, even into the middle of the night. Maybe someday, we'll work 9 to 5. At least that's what I tell my wife.
Until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be.
New total oatmeal.
I'll stick with old-fashioned Quaker Oats.
100% of the daily allowance of 9 vitamins.
Been getting that.
No, you haven't. 100% of iron.
Been getting that.
No, you haven't.
Total oatmeal, the vitamin nutrition you thought you were getting all along.
No, you haven't.
Bad colds hit hard. For throbbing, aching, feverish colds like this, you need strong medicine. Introducing Dimetap Plus, the proven cold relief of Dimetap Plus, a non-aspirin pain reliever. So next time a really painful cold hits, hit back. With new Dimetap Plus, you'll be back in the fast lane in no time. Dimetap Plus, good advice for the worst colds.
The Reagan administration is stepping up a high-pressure campaign to oust the military leader who runs Panama. CBS News Pentagon correspondent David Martin reports.
The Reagan administration has decided Panamanian strongman General Manuel Noriega must go. And last week it sent Assistant Defense Secretary Richard Armitage on a secret trip to Panama to deliver the message firsthand. The Armitage trip marks a new low in relations between the U.S. and the increasingly repressive dictatorship of Noriega, and raises inevitable concerns about the future of the Panama Canal.
You don't want to antagonize the force that has to defend the canal. On the other hand, you don't want to support that force when it's subjugating and subverting the democratic process in Panama, and that's the problem that the administration's been in.
Already, the U.S. has cut off all economic and military aid to Panama in response to Noriega's anti-American policies. Noriega recently granted landing rights to the Soviet airline Aeroflot and sent a delegation to Libya to seek financial aid from Muammar Gaddafi. During a 3-hour meeting, administration sources say Armitage told Noriega he had better resign before he is chased from power by rising opposition to his policies, which have left the Panamanian economy in a shambles. But a former U.S. ambassador to Panama doubts Noriega will listen.
Certainly the United States telling him he should go would be no incentive whatsoever. I don't think that will impress him very much.
State Department officials hope Noriega's departure will lead to new elections. But even if Noriega goes, there is no guarantee the military will relinquish power.
They don't trust the politicians in Panama. They think that they're the best people to run the country and take it to the direction they want to take it.
Sources say during the meeting, Noriega was non-committal and so far has shown no sign of taking the message to heart. In fact, he has been privately spreading the word in Panama that the Armitage visit was a show of American support. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
A judge in El Salvador today rejected an appeal for amnesty from 3 men imprisoned for the murder of 4 American churchwomen in 1980. The judge ruled that the former National Guardsmen were convicted of a common crime, not a political offense, and therefore were not eligible for amnesty under the new Central American Peace Plan. Last month, the United States expressed outrage over an opposite decision in a similar case when 2 men convicted of murdering 2 American union activists were freed under the amnesty. Another Palestinian was reported killed today as Israeli soldiers opened fire on rioters in the Gaza Strip. Violence also broke out on the West Bank and in Jerusalem. A senior UN diplomat arrived in Israel to investigate the conflict in the occupied territories, but Israeli Prime Minister Shamir refused to meet with him or cooperate with the UN inquiry.
I never know how many people are going to show up for dinner.
Another 7 people for stovetop.
So I make stovetop stuffing from the canister. It's great, because I can make it for 2 or 4 or 8. I always have just enough, no matter how many people drop in. Well, greetings, Mr. B. Oh, where's my chow?
You know, tonight I really love those breadcrumbs and spices, so let's really hear it. Now, you got enough for me and my brothers?
Gee.
Stovetop in the canister.
My wife, every night she disappears into the bathroom. Who knows what's going on? But whatever it is, it makes her feel really good. See?
Clean away stains and freshen dentures with Efferdent every night.
You should have seen this Whirlpool cooktop a little while ago. My husband made chili all over. But with this smooth ceramic surface, it was so easy to clean. Heck, the way my Whirlpool appliances clean up, I feel just like June Cleaver.
Whirlpool. If you're choosing a pain reliever for a headache and want strength, choose this one. Nothing is stronger for headaches. Nothing. If you're concerned about stomach irritation, choose this. It won't irritate your stomach like aspirin or even ibuprofen can. The truth is, if you want a pain reliever that does both, your one choice should be Tylenol. Tylenol. It's tough on pain, easy on your stomach.
In Iowa tonight, the Republican presidential hopefuls are together for another candidates forum. Vice President George Bush is facing more questions there about his role in sending U.S. missiles to the Ayatollah Khomeini. It was Alexander Haig who kept pressing Bush about that at a previous candidates forum, a move that put Bush on the spot, but did nothing to get Haig out of campaign limbo. For all of his years in the limelight, Haig barely jiggles the meter in the latest polls. Correspondent Richard Schlesinger tonight reports on the Alexander Haig campaign, the latest in our series of early looks at all of the presidential candidates.
From out of the history books comes now Alexander Haig, former general, former White House chief of staff, former Secretary of State, now presidential candidate. He is almost unanimously considered and also ran, even though the first vote has not yet been cast.
Okay, now, what you think about me for the election, okay?
On the issues, Haig is outspoken, sometimes outrageous.
How would you deal with Mikhail Gorbachev on a one-to-one basis?
Like a porcupine makes love, very, very carefully.
Haig sees an America threatened by a crafty Soviet leader, mediocre schools, and a dangerously bloated deficit. His prescription for the deficit calls for small, consistent doses of austerity.
It involves reducing the level of growth of the federal budget at an average annual rate of about 3 to 4% a year for the next 8 to 10 years.
Haig would spend money in American classrooms to buy a return to the 3 R's, to buy better teachers.
Our teachers should not be paid at a level in which they can almost double their average national salary by driving a truck.
There is little evidence that Haig's message is getting through. He almost always comes in at the bottom in polls, Many remember Haig as the edgy Secretary of State who appeared in front of cameras after President Reagan was shot.
As of now, I am in control here in the White House, pending return of the Vice President. And
some people thought an overly ambitious Alexander Haig was trying to take over the government, and many now wonder, can an old, cold warrior lead this country into the 90s?
Alexander Haig is very much a man of the past. He's yesterday's man in terms of his view of the old-fashioned confrontation between East and West.
He's got a Haig button on, huh? Somebody just stick that on you?
So what makes Haig run with so little support? One political observer thinks Haig may see this campaign as his last hurrah.
I think he relished being at the center of things, and this is one last chance to be seen, to be heard, to be a player, and I think he likes that.
Haig's time in the spotlight may be running out. He has said if he does not do well in the New Hampshire primary, he'll fold his tent and return to his prosperous life as a private citizen. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
In Wyoming, Delaware today, a baby who was kidnapped when his parents were fatally shot Christmas Eve was safe at home with his grandparents. Police said 23-day-old Matthew Gibson appeared to be healthy and clean. He was found yesterday in the home of Richard and Joyce Lynch, who were charged with murder, unlawful imprisonment, and other counts. Police said no motive has been established for the kidnapping and murder.
Because Citicorp understands the drive to succeed, to do more than just get by, we've become the nation's largest financial services company, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more student loans, more home mortgages, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. Citicorp and Citibank, we'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
The news about aspirin is startling, but this even surprised me. New clinical studies show Anison's aspirin formula is more effective than regular strength aspirin, and that means better relief.
Anison, a better aspirin formula.
Do you know someone who's feeling a little down? Send them an FTD pick-me-up bouquet. Its flowers, rainbow coffee mug, and tote bag are the perfect way to get them feeling back on solid ground again. And only your FTD florist has it.
If you're like me with an irritable bowel, stressful days can mean diarrhea one day, constipation on another. You see, if there's too much water in the intestines, you have diarrhea. Not enough, constipation. Now there's new Equalactin, a single medicine for diarrhea or constipation. Equalactin tablets help restore the proper water balance to relieve both problems. So with an irritable bowel, when stressful days mean diarrhea or constipation, Equalactin helps me feel like a human being again.
Jazz great Lionel Hampton was jamming in Paris today. The 73-year-old Hampton, who made Flying Home a kind of international anthem, received the French decoration, the Order of Arts and Letters, from France's Culture and Communications Minister, Francois Lyotard. Then he demonstrated it once again why he deserved the honor. And speaking of great entertainers, the king of Heidi-Ho will be hep-hepping tonight, as he has for 60 years in show business. In the unlikely event you don't know who we're talking about, Harry Smith explains.
I'll buy you the swellest mansion on Upper Fifth Avenue.
Cab Calloway says he just can't stop. So for the umpteenth time, the 80-year-old showman will take the stage tonight at Carnegie Hall and no doubt knock 'em dead.
What's the moment that makes you feel best when you're performing?
When I see my audience show that they're happy.
Hey, folks, here's the story about Minnie the Moocher. She was a red hot hoochie coocher.
In the 30s and 40s, it was Cab Calloway's band that alternated appearances at the Cotton Club with Duke Ellington's group. Calloway worked with stars like Lena Horne. The customers included George Gershwin, then composing Porgy and Bess with a character called Sportin' Life.
And there was Minnie.
He used to come to the Cotton Club, and he'd sit there and he'd dig me. You know, he said, that's just... So he modeled the character after me.
Come on, you just stop your mug and come on in, Petersburg.
Cab Calloway wrote the book on being hip. The Hipster's Dictionary sold 2 million copies. He told Ed Murrow the word jitterbug came from a drunken trombone player in his band.
And we always used to kid him, said, you keep drinking that bug juice, you're going to be a jitterbug. And he did finally become a jitterbug.
Some critics, though, have suggested that Cab Calloway sold out. They claim his stage antics only reinforced black stereotypes. Regardless of the criticism, Calloway has paid the price of being black in America.
Listen, I played in Las Vegas in 1940-something. And I couldn't even come in the front door.
Heidi, 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 Heidi.
What dramatically changed Calloway's life was an appearance in the Blues Brothers movie.
Hit it!
A whole new generation of fans adopted Heidi Heidi Ho as their national party anthem. It was even a hit at the White House.
Did it surprise you to get to 80?
No, indeed. I'm just starting.
They'll be singing Heidi Heidi Ho in Carnegie Hall tonight, and we all may be singing it for years to come. Harry Smith, CBS News, New York.
And that's tonight's CBS Evening News. Dan Rather, reporting tonight from Dallas. See you Monday when it's got to be warmer. Good night.
Like to see how your cereals stack up to Total?
Lovely idea.
To get the vitamins in one bowl of Total, it takes almost 3 bowls of Special K.
Pass the oil brand, Gloria.
Takes 4 bowls of that.
That's why I like shredded wheat.
Then you'll have to eat 12 bowls.
You better loosen your girdle, Margaret.
Total has 100% of 9 vitamins and iron and is rich in calcium. That's a stack of nutrition.
In just 1 bowl.
And for the most nutritious cornflakes, try Total Cornflakes with twice the vitamin nutrition of Kellogg's.
To see how a bathroom gets this shiny clean, you have to go back to the beginning. The new formula Lysol Basin Tub and Tile Cleaner. Lysol has the power to cut through dirt and soap scum, and it disinfects. Try new Fresh Scent Lysol. It's how the shiniest bathrooms get their start.
This man once had a heart attack. Since then, his doctor prescribed exercise, the right foods, and aspirin. Studies show aspirin can help prevent second heart attacks.
He was always there when I needed him.
Ask your doctor how aspirin can help you.
I love you, Dad.
This message from Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
When I'm stuffed up, I want relief fast.
Neosynephrine starts working in a neosecond.
A neosecond. I like that.
Today, nothing works faster to get you breathing.
Breathing. I like that.
Neosynephrine. Relief in a neosecond. Now, a special offer. Buy 1 Neosynephrine 12-hour spray, get a second one free.
Vikings face the game-breaking force of the 49ers. The playoffs rock and the good times roll. Tomorrow on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Coming up on Eyewitness News tonight, the snow has stopped, but we still may not be over the worst of it all. Look at that. We'll have the latest report on road conditions throughout our entire area. And a report today on a police shooting says the officers involved may have been in the wrong in that shooting. And today, we're one tiny step closer to attracting a Major League Baseball team to Nashville. We'll be right back with details on these stories and a lot more next on Eyewitness News.
It's a special week on Win, Lose, or Draw.
Okay, we're gonna play, we're gonna win. All right, Roma.
TV's top celebrity impersonators draw